Good evening, everybody, and welcome into the Buckeye Racing Network. I'm Tyler Bentley. Alongside me in the booth, as always, is Tim Henderson. Tim, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing fantastic. How about yourself, buddy?
I am doing wonderful. iRacing, big update today. Tonight, we got the SRA Pro Late Model Divisions presented by Lovejoy Specialties. Hot laps are taking place around the racetrack. James Braswell, Carson Rourke, Ryan Hodge, Lucas Rourke, Bo Stenzel is the top five. Looks like Michael Carter in the 015 rolling onto the racetrack right now. Keep an eye on that. Looks like 31 total cars have signed in for action. 28 have taken a time so far in hot laps. Michael's going to bring that machine to a stop on the front straightaway. Braden Carter in these 005 out on the racetrack as well. Want to welcome everybody in. If you're watching for the first time tonight, welcome in. Round number 4 here with the SRA Pro Late Model Division tonight at the Volusia Speedway Park. $45 going to go to the winner of tonight's A main. So drivers got something to race for a little later on. Still getting a feel for the racetrack and if there's any tweaks they got to make to the race cars or how they drive, depending on the new iRacing update today. So I believe, Tim, did you say that they're going to roll hot laps back onto the racetrack for another time?
I believe so. Yes, it'll be round number 2. We're going to start again with group number 1.
Yeah, there's a group on the racetrack now. Bo Stenzel, Chase Hardy, Brandon Hall, Brent Pryor out there. Adam Primrose, Casey Durand, the 43. Dylan Gibbs in the 6 machine. The 21 of Calvin Crawley. The 86 of Shane Tucker. And the 76, but showing 91 on the racetrack, of James Gray. 10 cars in hot lap group number 1. As we see a couple of them breaking up lap time. Brent Pryor just went 4th on the board at a 15 flat in the number 50 machine. There's the 79 of Bo Stenzel, but scored as the 12 on our timing and the scoring. Brandon Hull, 99 on the side of his race car, but 14 in our timing and scoring. As that's going to bring a close to Group 1. Brent Pryor was the best and picked up to 4th at a 15 flat. James Braswell Jr. on the racetrack. Carson Rourke, Ryan Hodge, Lucas Rourke, Joshua Kunstveck, James Miller, Joseph Grandy, Turner Knuckles, and Braden Tuttle slowly rolling around the racetrack. Looks like 9 cars here in this group. Different colors for Braswell this week in the 109. Maybe just slightly different. And I like the number on the side of that race car, Tim, as it's very reflective as it works around. I'm sure if you're able to see that the same way I am, but it looks really nice on the 109.
The 109, yeah. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Well, if you guys didn't know, it's a new lighting system in iRacing. They updated the lighting, and it helped out quite a bit with the spec maps. And if you're a painter like me, it's a pain because you got to go back in and redo some of your spec maps.
Absolutely. James Braswell. Top of the board still at a 14.96. Carson Ork a 14.98. That's Group 2's second time on the racetrack. Now let's find drivers in Group 3 as they're already on the racetrack. Coy Vlies, Noah Carpenter, Remington James. Noah Carpenter was the winner last week. Braden Burnett, Jason Smith, Mason Setting, John Tobias, Michael Farmer, Aaron Roju, and Michael Carter also on the racetrack. Vlies so far quickest in this group, sits 12th on the board currently. We'll see if he's able to pick up at all. As lap time's improving here in this group just a little bit. Noah Carpenter, last week's winner, going to try to pick up another win this week. Remington James. Braden Burnett, I believe that's a new name this week with the series, so welcome in. That's going to bring a close to this group. I believe we potentially have one more group, maybe, as we'll go through the field here, or we might be rolling into single car qualifying here shortly. If the race control likes the way the track is sitting, I believe we will roll right into our single car qualifying. Looks like all the field sitting on the pit lane. Any information on race control radio, Tim? Uh-oh, we may have lost Tim as...
I apologize. I muted myself a second ago, but I did not hear anything as of right now, but it seems like they want to do another hot lap session as some of the drivers are calling for it.
Yeah, might be shaking down these cars a little bit. Like we said, there was... Can't speak about it enough. There was a pretty good iRacing update today. So the cars might be reacting slightly different than what these drivers have been used to. Because there's still time enough to do another hot lap session, so we'll just wait to see if hot lap group re-rolls on to the racetrack. Braden Carter in the 005 is currently slow rolling the bottom of the racetrack. Kanan Cochran in the 33 machine also rolling on to the speedway. This looks like it's going to be Kanan's first laps here tonight. Braden Carter currently sits 20th quick here in practice. Cochran's first lap at a 15:95 puts him 32nd on the board. All right, as we're just awaiting our qualifying session here tonight, Trying to see if any drivers are rolling back onto the racetrack at all. Looks like everybody's sitting in the pits currently.
We're gonna skip the qualifying here.
All right, you heard it. Single car qualifying. Now going to get underway. Then we'll roll into heat racing action. Just 3 minutes on the board. Driver's going to be heading out onto the racetrack. Calvin Crawley, one of the first. Ryan Hodge as well out there. Michael Farmer. Turner Nichols. Chase Hardy. All heading out on the racetrack. The racetrack's going to be a very busy place, but we're only be seeing one driver at a time, as it gives these drivers a clean racetrack to get their best qualifying lap in. Crawley going to come around and complete lap number 1. Crawley goes a 15:62. Ryan Hodge in his 19 machine at a 15:14. Brent Pryor really close to that at a 15:15, goes second quick. Hodge's second lap, tidge bit slower, so he's going to take that 15:14. Carson Rourke in the 05. Just taking the green flag there for his first lap. Crosses the stripe. Lap 1 for Carson. To the top of the board at a 15:05. Kanan Cochran, a 15:37, went 9th. Let's see, is Rourke able to improve? There. And he ran the exact same. James Braswell just went a 15:04 in his machine. Crosses the line, lap 2. Was he able to improve? Just a little bit slower there. So Braswell just holding on to quick time for the moment. Michael Carter in the 015, completing his first lap. Michael's first lap at a 15:19, 11th quick. Bo Stenzel at a 15:22, 12th quick. Lap 2 complete for Michael. Looks like it was even with lap 1. Braden McCoy Vlies, 15:24s for that pair. They're 15th and 16th. Bo Stenzel still a 15:22, 12th quick. All right, James Braswell Jr. is going to set the quick time tonight with a lap of a 15.04. Really the top 3, really the top 5, all within, look at that, even the top 6, within a 1/10 of a second of one another, Tim. These drivers are all grouped together.
I apologize. I only heard part of that. You say again?
I said the top 6 are within a 1/10 of a second of one another. So really close lap times. It should be in for some really good racing as we head into the night.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a wild one here tonight.
Absolutely. On the front row of our first heat, going to be James Braswell Jr. and Ryan Hodge. Row number 2 will be Mason Setting and Joseph Grandy. Row 3, Braden Tuttle and Casey Durand. Row 4 will be Jason Smith and Shane Tucker. All right. The magic number is 3 tonight. 20 cars will start the A main. We're taking 3 from each heat, and we will have consolation races, potentially starting with the D main, then going to the C main, then to the B main, and finally our 50 lap A main for $45 to win. You're not in the top three. Drivers like Grandy, who's sitting fourth. Casey Durand, Braden Tuttle, Shane Tucker, Jason Smith. Anything can happen in these heat races, as we've seen even the past couple nights on the broadcasts. So you can't count yourself out, even if you're back there in the 7th or 8th positions in the heat. Looks like we'll get the final pace lap here, and the green flag will wave next time by. Two by two, James, Braswell, Ryan, Hodge on the front row. Pace truck's going to peel off out of turn 4. Braswell's in control. Green flag is in the air. We are racing at Volusia tonight. Looks like Hodge and Setting will be side by side. Hodge using that outside line with the momentum out of turn 2. What'd you see there, Tim?
I seen Casey Durand in the 43 machine. He ran up on Braden Tuttle so quick in the middle of 1 and 2. He had to jump out of the gas.
Well, good news is both drivers still going. They're 5th and 6th currently, but on the outside looking in, Braswell and Hodge trying to separate themselves just a little bit from Grandy in the 518 machine. Then you have Mason Setting in the 29 trying to challenge Grandy for the transfer. As Hodge is not letting Braswell out of his sights as they run two different lines in turns 1 and 2. Braswell actually puts a little bit of a gap between himself and Hodge. Hodge trying to close that back in 3 and 4. Half distance, 4 down, 4 to go, and Hodge is being got by the 518 of Grandy there, Tim.
Yeah, he's gonna be right all over the back. Well, they don't really have a back bumper. I don't know what you call it in these cars, but all over the rear, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Grandy still holds on to the spot for now. Mason Setting in the 29 on the outside looking in as we're coming to 2 to go in Heat 1. Dana Burdick, welcome in. It has been a while, sir. Nice to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Hodge still looking to the inside of Braswell. Braswell kind of up over the cushion through 3 and 4. Grandy closes in. We have a 3-car battle for the top spot as the white flag waves in heat number 1. If these drivers all keep it clean through 3 and 4. Grandy looking to the inside, trying to get the win, and what a run from Joseph Grandy. Braswell holds on to it. Grandy picks the second spot away from Hodge. That's the top 3 that'll transfer. Mason Setting, Braden Tuttle, Shane Tucker, Casey Durand, Jason Smith will be in the consolations. Starting lineup for our second heat of the night will be Carson Rourke and Brent Pryor on the front row. Then Chase Hardy and James Miller, row 2. Row number 3 is going to be Aiden Primrose and Brandon Hull. Row 4 will be Remington James and Aaron Rogieux. Again, top 3 will transfer. Everybody else will be in the consolations. Well, Tim, what we've seen in Heat 1 is the outside line kind of prevailed to start, and as the laps wore on, drivers started moving down low, and then you saw Grandy there with a great run the final 2 laps to get to the second spot.
Yeah, I think everyone was a little timid on the inside. Grandy took a huge shot, and boy, did it almost pay off. I mean, 0.04 of a second, just shy.
Yeah, absolutely. Great run from Grandy there to finish out our first heat. We get the 1 to go signal. We'll get the green flag this time. I think it's time for you, Tim, to get us going for the start of Heat 2.
Alrighty, that's going to be Carson Rourke leading the rest of Heat 2 at a calm pace before we pick up and step on the loud pedal as he does just as the pace truck enters. The 50 machine slides in right behind him. The 51 straight down to the bottom. We seen that a whole lot last week, that 51 of... Why is my thing messed up?
That'd be Chase Hardy down there, Tim.
Oh, okay, it is?
Yes,
All right.
sir.
I
Oh,
apologize.
contact.
She's showing the 99 in the thing. Well, Chase Hardy now moves up. There was a bit of contact between him and the car following. That would be James Miller in the 14, or the 22.
Yeah, Chase Hardy was running the bottom and kind of went up the hill, and Hardy and Hall had good runs and kind of got stacked up and made a little contact with Hardy there in the 3rd spot. Carson Rourke, Brent Pryor able to separate themselves just a bit from 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Then back there in 6th is Roju with James and Primrose all right there grouped together, 6th, 7th, and 8th. As we got a battle for a moment anyway, as James Miller took a peek to the inside of Chase Hardy. Has to settle back in line around the outside. Already 3 to go in our 2nd heat. Brandon Hall getting a good run on James Miller. And these 3 have been inseparable since the drop of the green flag. Carson Rourke, Brent Pryor, comfortable running 1-2 as we get the white flag.
We're coming into 3 and 4. We've seen Grandy pull off that move. He's about the same distance from the leader. Is Brent Pryor going to be able to pull it off? He does not like to try. He plays it safe.
Yep, Carson Rourke wins. Pryor in 2nd. Chase Hardy holds on for the 3rd and final transfer spot. James Miller, Brandon Hall, Remington James, Aiden Primrose, and Aaron Roju into the consolations. Starting lineup for our 3rd heat tonight: Noah Carpenter and Braden Carter, row 1. Michael Carter and Braden Burnett, row 2. Kanan Cochran and James Gray will be row 3. Michael Farmer and Lucas Rourke, row number 4. Field now rolling for a couple of pace laps here before we get the green flag in our 3rd heat tonight. Both of the Carters in here, that's the father-son duo. Michael the dad, Braden the son. As the sun is slowly setting here at the Volusia Speedway. You know what they say, Tim? The nighttime is the right time.
Yeah, that's a saying I haven't heard in a long while.
Yeah, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that came from a Fox broadcast at potentially one of the Coke 600s, if I can remember correctly. Don't quote me on that, but that's what sticks out in memory for me. Anyways, pace truck peels off, green flag in the air for heat race number 3. Ooh, a little bit of contact between Michael Carter and Braden Burnett, and there's more contact. Kanan Cochran, as the left front is,
James Gray.
oh man, and they're crashing into turn 3. Cochran and I believe that's Farmer got together. James Gray in the pit area. Farmer going to have to pull down in the pit area as well. Back up front, Noah Carpenter leads the way over Braden and Michael Carter. That's the top 3, and then you have Braden Burnett, Lucas Rourke, 4th and 5th. Michael Farmer, Kanan Cochran, James Gray, all with the issues on lap 1. Michael Farmer heading out back onto the racetrack. As Lucas Rourke with a good slide job there on Braden Burnett, but he's going to cross him back over down into turn number 1. And they're going to be trading slide jobs. That's Lucas Rourke, Braden Burnett. They trade another one here through 3 and 4, and they're going to continue to race side by side. Oh, man, that was really close. Burnett wasn't quite clear, and that pushed Rourke way up the hill and just scraping the outside wall.
Whoa.
And that almost didn't work between the two. Oh, and there's more contact. Burnett into the outside wall, and I think he has suspension damage on the right front. Rourke's going to continue for the moment in the 4th position. 2 to go already for Noah Carpenter. Braden Carter, Michael Carter content running 2nd, 3rd, and they have a 2nd advantage back to Rourke in the 5 machine. White flag in the air as there's cars stopped right in front of the leaders. That was Burnett and Farmer. They towed to the pit area. But through 3 and 4, Noah Carpenter, last week's winner, continuing on his hot streak, wins his heat tonight. Braden Carter will be 2nd, Michael Carter 3rd, Lucas Rourke, Braden Burnett, Michael Farmer, Kanan Cochran, James Gray relegated to the consolations. Starting lineup for heat race number 4 tonight. Joshua Kunstveck and Turner Knuckles, row 1. Bo Stensel, Coy Vlies will be row 2. Dylan Gibbs, John Tobias, row 3. Calvin Crawley and Dane Norris will be row 4. Looks like Dane Norris not going to make the call for his heat, so there'll be 7 starters vying for the top 3 spots. All right, Tim. I think it's time we get another pace lap and you get us started for heat 4.
Oh, me again?
Absolutely. We got to give the folks what they want. You're the star of the show on the Buckeye Racing Network.
Well, that's a bold statement, but
It's the only statement.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. But anyways, we're gonna have, oh my god, I just messed up my camera. We're gonna have Joshua, he's gonna fire off, he's gonna get a good launch over the rest of the Heat 4 field is the 79 of Bo Stenzel. He takes over that 2nd place position. Contact with our 3rd place runner at the time. That's the number 1 of Turner. And he's still getting contact from the car behind. I believe that is Dylan Gibbs in the Monster Energy machine. They all settle it down. The 17 now takes over position number 3. That's Coy Vlies. Then you're going to have Calvin Colley in the 21.
We got a battle up front.
Yep.
Kunzbeck, Stenzel side by side. Kunzbeck on the outside, Stenzel on the inside. Coy Vlies right there as well. If either of these two bobble, he's going to be into the lead. And then Calvin Crawley now into the 4th spot. He's eyeing the top 3 as well. Stenzel, Kunzbeck still side by side. Kunzbeck with a better run down the back straightaway. And I think Vlies is going to take a peek, maybe crossover and a big slide job from Vlies. No, not enough momentum that time. Stenzel's going to hold on to the 2nd spot for now. Vlies going to move back up to the racetrack in line, kind of cover the 99 machine of Calvin Crawley behind him. Playing a little bit of a blocker. Side by side, Dylan Gibbs, Turner Nichols for the 5th and 6th position behind this battle. White flag going to be displayed this time one more time in Heat 4. Vlies with a good move down the front straightaway, slides up in front of Stenzel. Stenzel with the momentum turns back underneath him. They're going to be side by side, potentially 3 wide. Crawley's going to stick his nose in there. Contact with Vlies. Wow. Kunzbeck wins the heat. Stenzel retakes the 2nd spot. Vlies holds on for 3rd, and a great effort from Crawley there to try to get in the top 3. Dylan Gibbs, John Tobias, Turner Nichols, Dane Norris, the non-transfer cars. Then we'll take a look at the starting lineup. I believe potentially the C main here, Tim.
That is correct. We're going to take the top 5, and they're going to go straight to the B main.
All right, the starting lineup for our C main tonight will be Shane Tucker and Remington James, row 1. Michael Farmer, John Tobias, row 2. Casey Durand, Aiden Primrose, row 3. Kanan Cochran, Turner Nichols, row 4. Jason Smith, Aaron Roju, row 5. James Gray, Dane Norris, row 6. 10 laps the distance in our C main. Magic number is 5. Looks like Dane Norris once again not going to make the call. Aiden Primrose yet to grid as well. Yep, Primrose, Norris not going to make the call, so 10 cars to start, eyeing for 5 spots. So if you're Turner, or excuse me, I believe that would be the 43 of Casey Durand, who's going to start in the 5th spot, and he can't lose any spots once the green flag drops. He's got to hold that spot or move forward, put somebody else on the hot seat. Roju, Cochran, Smith, and Gray. Those are the drivers on the outside looking in. One to go signal from the flagman. Shane Tucker, Remington James on the front row. Tucker in control as he works slowly through 3 and 4. Looks like a little contact on the outside with James and Tobias. As Tucker finally fires, we're underway. Side by side for 3rd currently as Farmer kind of gets squirrely and goes up the racetrack. No contact was made, but he loses a couple of spots. And now he finds himself in that 5th and final position. As actually Durand now takes a peek back underneath of him. On the inside, Farmer on the outside, and they're going to be neck and neck down into 3. And then you got Turner Knuckles and John Tobias side by side for the 3rd spot. Kanan Cochran trying to get up there and battle for the 5th spot. One car on the outside wall. John Tobias in the 3 machine. Unfortunate there. That's going to allow Durand now into that top 5 position. But Kanan Cochran with a good run around the outside. I believe he might take the spot from Durand on the inside there. As they're side by side, neck and neck through 3 and 4. Tobias just now into the pit lane. Cochran now into that 5th and final transfer spot. There's more contact. No. Cochran almost gets spun. Farmer way up the hill. Durand turns right back underneath of him, and now he's 4th. Farmer, Cochran, and Roju's 3 wide for the 5th and final transfer spot. Roju and Cochran still battling, Tim.
Yeah, they made contact all the way from the middle of turn 1 and 2, all the way to the exit of 3 and 4. We had one around back there. That's Remington James.
Oh my goodness. Oh, the 94 with contact. He goes up the hill. Now James Gray in that 76, but shows 91, is currently in the 5th and final transfer spot. Kanan Cochran 4th. Casey Durand now 3rd. And you have a side-by-side battle for the lead with Turner Knuckles and Shane Tucker. As they're going to be coming to the 2-to-go signal this time. Knuckles on the inside, Tucker on the outside. Knuckles with the advantage into turn 1. Going to complete the pass down the back straightaway, but Tucker trying to battle back on the outside. White flag waves one more time around. 3rd and 4th battle heating up, and they're still battling for the final transfer spot. Gray, Smith, Roju, all close together. We're going to go back up front. See Turner Knuckles take the checkered flag and win the C-Main. Shane Tucker will be 2nd. Casey Durand 3rd. Kanan Cochran 4th. And Aaron Roju at the line steals it away from James Gray.
Wow.
Wow, what a finish to the C-Main. James Gray, Jason Smith, John Tobias, Michael Farmer, Remington James, Dane Norris, Aiden Primrose. We'll have to call it a night, unfortunately.
Aaron made up 2 spots on that last lap. He went all the way around the outside. I don't know if you caught that on the broadcast, but he was sitting 7th at the start of the lap, and he squeezed by the 28 on the exit of 2, carried that momentum through 3 and 4, and somehow beat the 91 to the line.
Yeah, what a fantastic effort there from Roju. Starting lineup for our B main. Mason Setting, James Miller will be row 1. Lucas Rourke, Calvin Crawley, row 2. Braden Tuttle, Brandon Hall, row 3. Row 4 will be Braden Burnett and Dylan Gibbs. Row 5 will be Turner Knuckles and Shane Tucker. Row 6 will be Casey Durand and Kanan Cochran. And one driver there in row 7, that's Roju with the fantastic finish in our C-Main. 12 laps to distance here in our B-Main. Again, I believe they're taking 5, is that correct, Tim, or 6? Or actually, they might be taking 8 because we got a 20-car starting field. So
yes, they are taking the top 8.
So I tell you, if you're a driver that just came from the C-Main, it is wide open for you, as you just got to get in the top 8. So, you know, drivers like Shane Tucker, Turner Knuckles, Kanan Cochran, Casey Durand, Aaron Roju just got to pick up a couple of spots to be eligible for a transfer position. Meanwhile, Mason Setting, James Miller, gets the B main underway. Green flag waves. Work down on the inside. Setting went straight up to the top. The 84 kind of went up the hill, and it was 4 wide for a moment. Contact the 84 into the outside wall just for a moment, but they continue going with no problem at all. Look at Durand. He makes it into the top 8 just for a moment. Now Knuckles improves into the 8th spot. Back up front, Rourke setting side by side. Rourke completes the pass on the inside out of 4 and leads lap number 2. Mason setting, James Miller, your top 3. Then Calvin Crawley 4th. Brandon Hall in the 5th spot with Braden Tunnel and Dylan Gibbs right there all together. And it's kind of a hornet's nest back here from 5th on back, Tim.
Yeah, it is. Everyone wanting to move up the pecking order to almost guarantee themselves a safe spot into the future.
Absolutely. Right now, Turner Knuckles holds the spot. Dylan Gibbs on his outside, that's 7th and 8th. But if you're Braden Tunnel, Caden Cochran, you're on the outside looking in. Casey Durand, Shane Tucker, Aaron Roju. As they were 3 wide for a moment for the 6th spot, Tim. Wow, still going to be 3 wide.
Aye.
Oh, and it's really tight with some contact between the 27 and 6 machines. Just a little further up, Calvin Crawley, James Miller side by side for a top 3 position. Crawley holds on to it for now. Rourke in the 5, starting to pull away, a 2nd and a quarter ahead of the field. Mason setting did not get out of turn 2. That allows Crawley to run up behind him. There's going to be a battle for the 2nd spot out of turn 4.
Got one way out into the tire barrier on the exit of 4.
Yeah, Braden Tuttle heavily damaged. Got to get the car to the inside. Here comes the leaders. Going to keep an eye on the 5 machine of Rourke. Hopefully he's able to avoid. And yep, Tuttle towed into the pit area. So we're going to remain under the green flag now. 3 laps to go. Quick check on the transfer battle. Braden Burnett, Dylan Gibbs, that's 7th and 8th. Those are your final 2 transfers. Kanan Cochran, Casey Durant are side by side battling for the 9th position. Cochran about a half second back from a transfer. Just a couple laps left for him. White flag going to be waving for the 5 machine of Lucas Rourke. Now 1.7 seconds ahead of Calvin Crawley, James Miller, Mason Setting, and Brandon Hall. Rourke going to be working the inside like he's done throughout this B main out of turn 4. Rourke wins the B main. Calvin Crawley, James Miller, Brandon Hall, Mason Setting. Then Turner Knuckles, Dylan Gibbs, and Braden Burnett will be the top 8 to transfer. Caden Cochran, Shane Tucker, Casey Durand, Braden Tuttle, Aaron Roju. Not going to transfer to the A main. Those drivers will have to call it a night. Field is now set for our A main. As 3 minutes go on the warm-up clock for these drivers, they're going to head out, run the racetrack in a little bit more. We're going to step aside while they do so for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back for the starting lineup.
You are capable of winning races, but you can't do it alone. It's time to elevate your game to the next level with RMR Driving Academy. Richard Murtaugh is the longest running setup builder on iRacing with nearly a decade of experience. With a combined 13,000 rating across 2 accounts, Murtaugh has helped more than 20 drivers advance to the World of Outlaws Pro Series. Log on to rmrdrivingacademy.com or find them on Facebook and Instagram. You are capable of winning races, but you can't do it alone. It's time to elevate your game to the next level with RMR Driving Academy. Richard Murtaugh is the longest-running setup builder on iRacing with nearly a decade of experience. With a combined 13,000 rating across 2 accounts, Murtaugh has helped more than 20 drivers advance to the World of Outlaws Pro Series. Log on to rmrdrivingacademy.com or find them on Facebook and Instagram.
All right, everybody, welcome back into the Buckeye Racing Network. Again, thanks to our sponsors over at Premier Racing Setups and Richard Murtaugh Racing Driving Academy. Don't forget to use the code Buckeye15 for 15% off a setup pack over at Premier Racing Setups. Try them today. All right, everybody out there watching at home who is ready for the start of our feature event tonight. Remember, $45 on the line to the winner. Let us know the drivers you'll be cheering on as we take a look at the starting lineup. Row number 1 is going to be Joseph Grandy in the 518 and Joshua Kunstbeck in the 2. Row 2 is going to be Noah Carpenter and Carson Rourke. Row number 3, James Braswell Jr. and Brent Pryor. Row 4 is going to be Braden Carter and Bo Stenzel. Row 5 is going to be Ryan Hodge and Chase Hardy. Row number 6 tonight will be Michael Carter and Coy Vlies. Row number 7 is going to be Lucas Rourke and Calvin Crawley. Row 8, James Miller and Mason Setting. Row number 9 will be Brandon Hall and Turner Knuckles. Row 10 in the final row tonight will be Dylan Gibbs and Braden Burnett. All right, Tim, it is that time of the night. We pick our drivers to watch. Who you have your eye on?
Oh boy. I'm not sure. There's a lot of drivers to choose from here, but you know, you brought his name up earlier. I think I'm gonna keep my eye on James Braswell Jr. in the 109 machine.
I like that pick. That 109 machine has shown speed tonight. Was set quick time earlier in qualifying. Had a fantastic heat race. I think I'm going to keep my eye out on Noah Carpenter. I know he's starting the inside of row number 2. Last week's winner. We're going to see if he's able to continue the momentum this week here at the Volusia Speedway Park. Everybody at home, let us know your drivers to watch. Mark Carpenter says, let's go Noah Carpenter Racing. So, all right, he's thinking the same way I am tonight, Tim.
Yeah, well, you're wrong.
No.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Tough crowd, I guess, but anyways, we're not going to dwell on that because we are about to get the green flag here for our feature event. 50 laps is a long way. Anything can happen. Joseph Grandy, Joshua Kunstbeck, row 1, pace truck peels off. Green flag is in the air. We're going to rock and roll 50 circuits around Volusia tonight. Grandy going to use the outside. He started up there. Carpenter trying to waste no time down low. Let's see what happens through 3 and 4 for the first time. Braswell kind of slides up into the middle part of the racetrack, trying to fit in line. We're 3 wide now for the 5th spot. Braswell gets a little bit out of shape, gathers it back in, but he's still going to be 3 wide in between the 50 and the 79 machines. Slight contact there, and that 3 wide still going to rage on. Just ahead of them, we had 3 wide for a moment as well, but Carpenter now to the inside of Grandy slides up the hill. In front of him, 4 wide for a moment. I don't know how they managed to work out a turn 2 and not all wad up. As there's more contact. Braden Carter in the 005 into the back of Noah Carpenter in the 6. Now Kunstbeck into the lead in front of Grandy, and there's more contact, almost the same thing, just the next lap. We still have a long way to go, fellas. We don't got to race this hard just yet, but everybody at home loves to see it. Maybe not if you're a fan of one of these drivers. Carpenter now is going to slide up the hill, but not able to complete the pass on Kunstbeck. Kunstbeck retains the lead for a moment. Grandy fighting for his life up on the outside, followed by Braden Carter in the 05, Ryan Hodge in the 19 on the inside behind Noah Carpenter. Wow, Tim, this is an awesome sight early on in this feature. Great racing, more contact.
Oh my. Yeah, no kidding. It's like this is like Atlanta.
It really is.
Atlanta.
Oh, the 518 gets turned, and he's going to come to a stop at the inside of the front straightaway. That's going to be our first caution flag here tonight. Mason Settings running around out there without a left front wheel.
Who was that without a left front?
Mason Setting, I believe, in the 29. I just saw him go by the camera. Keep an eye on this battle. The 518, the 5, the 19. I think the 05 was part of that as well. We slowed things way down for the replay here. You see Carter working his way back up the racetrack, trying to complete the slide job on Grandy, and the 518 does complete it, but Grandy gets out of the throttle. Then the 05 behind him doesn't really know what's going on in front, makes significant contact into Grandy, and Grandy goes sideways across the field and noses it into that inside concrete barrier there, as we just had some crazy racing for the top three positions.
Yeah, I just I was looking at the replay here, and Mason Setting, he ran the better part of that whole little run there without a left front tire.
Wow, well, what a break for Setting in the 29, able to get into the work area, get that car serviced, and get back out there with all four wheels on it. As we have 6 laps complete, as the field doubles back up. Joshua Kunstbeck, Braden Carter, Noah Carpenter, Ryan Hodge, James Braswell Jr., the top 5. Kunstbeck the leader. Gets the green flag. We are back underway here with 43 laps to go. Braden Carter, oh, it was 4 wide again between Carter, Carpenter, Hodge, and I think Braswell was part of that as well. Just behind them, Chase Hardy, Lucas Rourke. With Lucas Rourke kind of on a little bit of a tear here, already +7. Oh, they're 3 wide in front with contact. Braden Carter, Noah Carpenter in the outside wall. Carpenter hard impact into that Armco barrier, and he has lost the front clip on his machine as the second caution flag displayed here tonight. More 3 wide action through 1 and 2. We're going back. This is the replay. Hodge down on the extreme inside. Carpenter working the middle. Braden Carter working the cushion. Hodge just kept working up the racetrack. Carpenter was there. There's the first bit of contact between those two. Carter gets kind of pushed into the outside wall, and I think Hodge just kept running up the hill, and it pinched Carpenter and Carter into the outside wall. Carpenter and Carter really had nowhere to go except make contact with the outside wall, and significant damage to Carpenter's machine. So he's going to have to visit the work area and get repaired. As he did so while we were under the replay, I believe Ryan Hodge now back at the tail here, as well as Braden Carter. Race control might have had a say in that caution. Lights out on the pace truck. We get the 1 to go signal. How would you like to get us started for the restart, Tim?
I would love to, as we're gonna have I can't tell if it's single file or double.
Looks like they threw in that modified start where the leader has the front row to himself and then it's side by side. Some series around the country do that, Tim.
Okay, I have not seen that.
Braswell makes a good move to the inside there through 3 and 4, puts him into the top 3, but Chase Hardy's going to battle back to the inside and slide right across his nose on corner entry. That was a little bit risky, but it worked for now. Braswell looks to the inside. There's contact there. Braswell might not be too happy with that move by Chase Hardy. Coy Vlies takes advantage. He moves up the inside. He's +8. Brandon Hall +11. Those are 2 big movers so far early on in this, as we're just now coming around to complete 12 of the 50 laps.
I tell you what, Bentley, that inside line looks like it's moving a lot better than that outside. We've seen that be the case the last couple of races we've broadcast.
Yeah, absolutely. The inside line seems to always come into play as the run goes on. Lucas Rourke +11 now into the 2nd spot, just a second behind Kunstbeck in the lead. Side by side for 3rd, Coy Vlies, Chase Hardy. You got Brandon Hall, Bo Stenzel, Calvin Crawley, James Braswell, who's now side by side, and then Turner Knuckles right behind those 2. Then a little bit of a gap back. Brent Pryor, Joseph Grandy, Carson Rourke, all side by side here. That's right at the top 10 margin. There was 4 wide there for a moment. The 22 of James Miller, Braden Carter in the 005. Noah Carpenter back here trying to make his way back forward. So he's around the outside of Dylan Gibbs in Mason's setting. He moves into the 15th spot. Back up front.
We got one in the wall. Chase Hardy.
Oh man, we'll have to go back and take a look at that as we didn't catch it on the live. This is the replay of Hardy in that 51 machine. As it looks like maybe just got too high into turn 1. Yep, got too high into 1 and kind of got a little bit of the wall glue as he rode the wall through 1 and 2 and just brought the car to a stop there and towed directly into the work area as he lost the right front on his machine. So a tough break for Hardy as he was running in the top 3 at the time of that caution. Looks like Hardy has decided to call it a night. After the issue. Looks like we are in restart formation with Kunstbeck out front. Maybe one more lap of pacing here in this one. As the lights are out on the pace truck. Updated top 5. Joshua Kunstbeck, Brandon Hall, Coy Vlies, Calvin Crawley, and Bo Stenzel. On 6th and 7th will be Turner Knuckles and Carson Rourke. green flag back in the air. We are back underway. Koivai is trying to take the second spot. Will do so exiting 2. Brandon Hall, Bo Stenzel will be a side-by-side through 3 and 4. And kind of a stack on the bottom there behind Hall in that gray and blue numbered 99 machine. Calvin Crawley, Carson Rourke was all stacked up behind him. Braden Carter as well. Crawley now trying to work the middle. Turner Uncle's trying to use the outside lane to his advantage. 3 wide again. Grandy a part of it. Noah Carpenter as well as Grandy in the 518 and James Miller in the 22 made contact. Mason Setting was off the pace for a moment, but he's continued. And the yellow flag is waving as there's a tire rolling down the front straightaway. We'll have to see what car that is off of.
I think there's 2 separate incidents here. Dylan Gibbs was wrecked on the backstretch as well.
Yeah, I'm looking at that on the replay now. Mason Setting, Dylan Gibbs, Ryan Hodge kind of all got together out of turn 2, and Gibbs made heavy contact with the outside wall. There's Braswell just working by down the back straightaway. Gibbs, pretty significant damage, losing the front clip on that race car. And then I'm unsure what would have happened.
Ryan Hodge had some extracurricular activities down the front stretch as well.
Oh, yeah, I see it. I see it. Hodge made contact with Miller, James Miller in the 22 as Hodge kind of almost went up and over the nose of Miller, and Miller was the one who lost the right front on the replay. Keep an eye on those two. You said Hodge had some extracurricular activity there?
Yeah, on the front stretch.
Oh yeah, he was, his car is on the up and over the backstretch concrete barrier there as well, so unsure of what's going on with Hodge. Miller is in the pit lane. Hodge looks like his night is potentially done as well. All right, about to get the restart. Unfortunate there for Lucas Rourke. Is in the pit lane once again. He had a fantastic run going, was in the second spot not too awful long ago as we get the green flag for the restart. Fly's trying to retain the second spot, will do so. Brandon Hall, Calvin Crawley, Bo Stenzel, 3rd, 4th, 5th, side by side. Braden Carter, Carson Rourke in the 05.
Oh, one walked it all the way up the track. I believe it was a black and purple machine. I think it was the 05 Carson Rourke. As another one walked up the track. He's on the wall. He flipped.
My goodness, Grandy in the 518 is on his lid. Stopped at the entry to turn 3. That's going to bring out the 5th caution flag here tonight. As we'll go back and watch. Oh, I missed the replay I wanted. Keep an eye on the 518. You see he was kind of slow trying to get around Rourke in the 05. Grandy got up a little bit too high, made contact with the outside wall. Mason Setting, Dylan Gibbs trying to work by on the inside. As Grandy turned down off of the outside wall, him and Setting get together. Grandy goes back into the outside retaining wall and goes up and over and lands on his roof. Does Grandy in the 518 machine. He's going to have to get a tow into the work area as well and have some lengthy repair, I would imagine, on his machine before he's able to rejoin the field. Brandon Hall, plus 14 from his starting spot of 17th. Here tonight, coming out of the B main. Also wanted to update you on Noah Carpenter. He is back into the 6th position after the issues earlier on. Still quite a bit of distance to go in this one before we crown a winner. Joseph Grandy currently out. James Miller, Ryan Hodge, Chase Hardy all out as well. Lucas Rourke still in the pit lane, getting more service on his machine. 15 cars on the racetrack for the restart. We are back underway. 1 lap shy of the halfway point. 3 wide is James Braswell Jr. trying to use the middle to his advantage. Didn't have the momentum to fend off Knuckles in the 1 machine. He's going to try it once again, maybe 4 wide for a moment. Michael Carter way down the inside and Dylan Gibbs there as well. Battle for 6 is now 3 wide. Braden Carter, Noah Carpenter, Calvin Crawley. Crawley in the middle, Carter on the inside, Carpenter up on the outside. Top 3 single, making the top 4 single file, and this is the first battle in the field. Carpenter still marching steadily forward now into the top 5 in his car. James Braswell Jr. trying to get back up there and battle. So he's going to look to the outside now of Brent Pryor. This is just inside of the top 10, 9th and 10th here actually. Mason Setting had to jump into the pit area there, had an issue. Kunstbeck has company. Goy Vlies is right there, Tim.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it looks like the last 2 laps, he's been letting it go out wide. It looks like that 17 just keeps it pinned down to the bottom. Goy Vlies is able to drive up to the rear panel there. Just not enough to say that he's, you know, even with them per se, but eventually you got to think that it's gonna pay off for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Kunstbeck hasn't had much challenges so far tonight, but Vlies is there and is running a different line and has been taking peeks on Kunstbeck in that machine. Bo Stitzel steadily moving along now in the 3rd position. A solid run up to this point. Brandon Hall in the 4th position, plus 13. Then Calvin Crawley right behind him in 5th. Noah Carpenter finds himself in the 6th spot. Braden Carter, Carson Rourke, James Braswell, Dylan Gibbs. That's the top 10. A little further back, Michael Carter just past Brent Pryor to go to 11th, but Pryor battling back to the inside. That's 11th and 12th. 13th is Braden Burnett. 14th goes to Turner Knuckles, and those are the cars running on the racetrack. Back up to the front with Kunstbeck and Vlies. They're separated by about 7/10 of a second. Bo Stenzel is back 8/10 of a second. Really, this battle is on from 5th through about 10th. Crawley now looking to the outside of Hall to try to get the 4th spot. 3 wide just behind that, Braswell, Carter, Gibbs. That's 8th, 9th, and 10th. Oh, some contact there between Braswell and Gibbs. Braden Carter going to look to the inside into turn 3. Does he take the spot? Moves, slides way up the racetrack, almost stops in front of Braswell. Braswell has to jump on the brakes as well. That's going to stack things up now from 8th on back. Noah Carpenter now has some breathing room as he currently runs 7th. Carson Rourke 6th. Calvin Crawley was able to work by Brandon Hall, puts him up to the 4th spot. The top 3 really have separated themselves, though, Tim, as Vlies is still looking for a way around Kunstbeck.
Yeah, he's definitely searching around the track, trying to make a move here. He's moved up the track just a little bit, kind of running in the same tracks as the leader here. Is there they elect to go way out high and way down low, but we got the yellow.
Yep, yellow displayed for the 6th time. I believe Brandon Hall was involved. We'll take a look back at this. Ooh, Carson working the 05. Does he make any contact with Hall? No. Oh, Hall got into the outside wall. Works by on the inside. He's kind of stuck on that outside wall. Unable to get away from the wall glue, it looks like, Tim. Pretty significant damage to the right side of the car. Michael Carter just barely gets by with a little bit of contact. And Hall was just stopped on the outside of the back straightaway and towed his machine, it looks like, into the pit area with significant damage to the right front. James Braswell visiting the pits as well. $11 cars still running. Back to, looks like Turner Knuckles in the 1 machine. Once we get the restart, there will be 10 laps remaining to crown a winner of round number 4. All right, Tim, we got 10 to go. We'll give you the call for the restart.
Oh, I'll take that. Thank you. As Kunstbeck is going to lead them with the modified restart, he's going to fire as the car second with 79. I believe that is that
Stenzel.
Bo Stenzel? He takes over the 2nd place position, and it's the 05 almost clips the rear end of that 17 machine of Goy Wise, as they're all over the rear end of our leader, Joshua Kunstbeck. Flies to the inside for 2nd as he's trying to complete the pass. He does take over the 2nd position as maybe just a little contact to the right rear. That kind of shattered the momentum of Coy Vlies. The 05 contact the Coy Vlies. That's Carson Rourke.
Yeah, the laps continue to click away. Now under 7 to go. Kunstbeck just holding on to a 1 car length advantage to Bo Stenzel in the 2nd spot currently. Vlies try to take a peek to the inside of Stenzel. Now going to follow him right on the rear bumper through 1 and 2. As we get to the line here, no, we have a yellow flag for the 7th time. Braden Burnett, go back and take a peek at what happened to him. Oh, it looks like Noah Carpenter and him had some contact coming down the front straightaway. Burnett was slow getting into turn 1. You see Brent Pryor, Michael Carter, and Knuckles look to the inside. There goes the right front wheel on Burnett's machine after the contact with the outside wall. Burnett might have just stopped and towed. That would be enough for the yellow flag to be displayed. Well, Tim, it almost seems like as this feature has worn on, a little bit of survival of the fittest, as We're now down to half strength from our 20 starters. Just 10 remain on the racetrack. Back to Noah Carpenter.
Yeah, it's been a rough one here tonight as these drivers are just trying their best to get everything they can. Uh, Also, just we got to remember that it's a whole new uh, dynamic, I guess. Got the whole new update, new visualizations to learn from. And we're going to go single file. We're not going to do the modified restart as we have been.
Yeah, inside of the 10 lap to go margin, I believe most series and leagues do the single file restarts. Gunspec has led a whole lot tonight. Can he lead these final 5 laps as we get the green flag? Flies had a good jump on the start as he entered turn 1 right on the bumper of Stenzel, but Stenzel went up high. Flies used the bottom side, and there's a little bit of a gap now between those two. The 05 of Carson Rourke really shipped it into 3. There, I thought there was going to be contact into Flies in the 17 as Flies now has a good run to the inside of Stenzel for the second spot. Wasn't quite able to do anything with it there, though. Oh, Stenzel gets into the outside wall. Does that help Flies out at all? 3 to go.
Oh, man, they're trying to lean on each other. Bo Stenzel powers out back in front. He's going to hopefully hold on. He's going to clear himself here as we go into 1. 2 to go. The 17 might have Bo jacked up. Flies, slides all the way to the inside. He takes over the second place position.
White flag displayed. 1 to go. Stenzel back to the inside across the nose of Flies. Flies turns back underneath of him. This is the battle for second. Kunstbeck is out front. Flies with a slider into 3. Rourke looking to the inside, but out of turn 4. Joshua Kunstbeck wins at Volusia, and Bo Stenzel holds on for the second position. Coy Flies is going to round out our top 3 here tonight. Wow, what a feature here, and an awesome job from Kunstbeck. Once he got to the lead, just managed the race and comes home with the checkered flag. Wow, let's try and get our interviews kicked off here as we'll wait to see our drivers when they are available. But Tim, what a night of racing. We had to get through a little bit of the bumps of the feature. You know, we had 7 cautions, but towards the end there, everything straightened out, and we had a good, clean run in the final laps here, and a great battle between Bo Stenzel and Coy Flies.
Yeah, these drivers just want everything that they out of their car. And you know, sometimes you have those rough races, but it comes with racing. That's what we're here for. We're not here to sit here and I guess make clean passes. If you want to watch that, go to your local highway, pitch up a seat and watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't agree more there, Tim. As I see a couple drivers ready for their interviews tonight, I see Kunstbeck and Stenzel. We'll get things started off with Stenzel. Hey, Bo, it's Tyler and Tim up in the booth. Do you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, nice and steady through the feature. Just worked your way up 6 spots to the second position. Had to battle there with Coy Flies towards the end. I know it was a little bit caution-filled and probably chopped up more than you would have liked to have seen. But Still able to move your way forward, get a solid top three, but had to battle Coy there. What was that like?
I mean, it was actually pretty fun. I tried a different line there at the end just to see if it was any better, and I kept getting the wall. So moved back down just to try to hold off Coy. He was a little bit better than me in 1 and 2. I'd say we were about the same in 3 and 4, but yeah, I wish I didn't get or had to go in the pits early to get a quick repair. It kind of I feel like that kind of hurt me a little bit, but all in all, good night. And just it could be a little bit better.
Yeah, absolutely. A great solid finish for you coming away with a second place run tonight. Tim.
Yeah, Bo. I mean, what a race for you tonight. You started eighth. What was the key to finishing second? The track looked extremely scary to drive on. Uh, I know I wouldn't want to be driving on it, but of course I'm an asphalt guy. But take us through some of the key things that you did to get around the track here tonight.
The biggest thing was getting a good enough start. I was lucky enough to get a good start when I started there on the inside with that one of the last cautions, and uh got around Coy and kind of just held on from there. But the biggest thing was just your 3 and 4. I mean, you could either run slider or like middle bottom where Coy and I were running, and it just if you missed it, then you missed it. There weren't really it was a thin line, and I mean I missed it quite a bit racing back up through there. So, but just biggest thing was starts. You just had to get a good start.
Absolutely, Bo. Before we let you go tonight, anybody you need to thank for the effort?
Yeah, I just want to thank Joshua Kunsbeck let me run this beautiful wrap. Midwest Suspension, Bark Cinematography, Superior Sim Sports, and all those guys over there just out there having fun, trying to do our best.
Absolutely, Bo. Well, again, congratulations on the top three tonight. We'll let you celebrate it.
Thank you, sir.
All right, that was our second place finisher tonight, Bo Stenzel. I do see our winner, Joshua Kunstbeck. We'll talk to him. Hey, Joshua, it's Tyler and Tim up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you guys.
All right, man. Well, what a strong, solid run from you tonight. You started second, got to the lead, never looked back, and led from there on out. You put together a great feature. What was it like, though, navigating the restarts, knowing you had to time those out, maybe switch it up every so often there as we went throughout?
Oh yeah, it's definitely tough. I knew Coy and Bo were gonna be pretty good. Luckily, I had Bo talking to me, giving me tips, and just had to keep changing it up. You know, the cautions are coming pretty frequent there, so just had to keep changing up where you start and make sure you get a gap there going into one, so they're not right on you. And then, I mean, it was difficult, but the racetrack was pretty good. You know, Carden does a good job where he starts the track state and everything like that, and makes it really racy. So makes it really super fun to race on it.
Absolutely. It looked like a lot of fun from up in the booth here tonight. Tim.
Yeah. What was the interesting part of tonight? Did you see anything different as we had the massive season update? I don't know if that changed anything visually wise for you or anything like that. Did it have any effect going into the night?
No, it didn't seem too different to me. The dust particles have been the biggest thing, but you know, out front like that, you kind of stay clear in clean air, and it just seemed like normal racing for me, just out front on a Sunday drive.
All right, Joshua, for sure. Before we let you go tonight, who do you need to thank for the effort?
Huge shout out to Carden. You know, none of this would be possible without him. Southern Racing Association, Bo, Lucas, Carson, all them guys in the Superior Discord. You know, we've been grinding the game a lot lately, getting prepared for these leagues, trying to win some money. Huge shout out to my girlfriend. I know she was out there watching the stream, supporting me, and definitely all the boys at Superior. They, you know, they work their butts off, and I think we're pretty good where we're at right now.
Yeah, for sure. A couple cars there in the top two. Well, Joshua, without any more time taken up, we're going to let you celebrate the win here tonight and taking home the $45.
Alrighty, thank you guys.
Absolutely. That was our winner, Joshua Kunspek. Now, I do see our third place finisher is available to talk to. We're going to get a word with him as well. Hey, Coy, it's Tyler and Tim up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, +9 on the night here at finishing in the top three. I know we had to get through the cautions, but you just steadily marched your way through the field. What was it like, on the restarts where we saw the 2 and 3 wide? Where was your car the best on the restarts? And just tell everybody what it's like to move up through the field when it's so close, when the racing is so close together on those restarts.
Yeah, I started mid-pack there, a little bit farther back than I wanted to, and I knew I just had to stay clean, and I was just kind of hugging the bottom, saving my tires, running the middle, and got up to around the top five, and I found a really good line in the middle, and I knew that could save my tires a lot, and all those other guys were kind of using them sliding across the track, and with like 10 to go, I knew it was go time, so I started running the slider line and ran in the leader pretty good, and then that caution there with 11 laps to go, I didn't get a good restart on the outside, and Bo got me there. I think I was faster than both of them. I just couldn't get past Bo back. But we'll take a third. Um, at least I knew I could had something at the end. Like last week, I didn't save my tires, and my tires were gone. But I think we had a pretty fast car tonight.
Absolutely, and you and Bo Stenzel had a great battle in the closing laps. Tim.
Yeah, you said you had some major takeaways out of tonight. Uh, how does this help you moving forward? I mean, I believe I heard that next week is the last race of the season.
Yeah, I believe so. Lucas Oil. I like Lucas Oil. It's one of my favorite tracks. 100 laps. So I know definitely gonna have to save. Then track's probably gonna get reset, so it'll be pretty tight in the beginning, but track will widen out and the lines will get shown, and I think it'll be a lot of tire saving, and who's gonna save the most tires for the end, and around the lap 20 or so mark, it's gonna be go time, and whoever saves the most tires is probably gonna have the best car at the end, obviously, and you just got to be in the right place at the right time.
Absolutely. Coy, before we let you go tonight, who do you need to thank for the efforts?
Yeah, I got to thank you guys broadcasting, league admin, putting up the money. I got to thank, even though it's fixed, set up Volusia Speed Shop. Not on that much anymore now. Real life racing's kind of starting back up, but always got a good setup to work with, and everybody else that makes it possible.
All right, Coy. Well, we'll let you celebrate your top three finish. Thanks for talking to us today.
Thank you.
All right, that's going to conclude our interview portion of tonight's race. Any closing thoughts, Tim?
Just a awesome night of racing. I mean, these guys absolutely uh, just wanted it. They wanted the win. You can't you can't ask for more than that. And you and I know there's a few leagues where they have you know some drivers will just they're happy to just show up, and these guys they don't just want to show up, they want to win, and that's awesome.
Absolutely. Love to see it. And again, this was round 4 of 5, so one more round to go at the Lucas Oil Speedway for the SRA Pro Late Model Series presented by Lovejoy Speed Specialties. Upcoming for us on the Buckeye Racing Network, we're off for the next handful of nights. We'll be back live on Sunday night with the League of Outlaws. It will be their championship race, the final race of the current season. Then, of course, next Monday night, we've got the next round of the Regal Promotions Esports 360 Sprint Cars. And I believe next Tuesday night, the championship round for this SRA Pro Late Model Series. We want to thank each and every one of you for tuning into the Buckeye Racing Network tonight. For Tim Henderson, I'm Tyler Bentley. Good night.